Today I want to talk to you guys about how to quit alcohol. Now this is especially for guys in their 20s, but it doesn't really matter your age or your gender because this can apply to every single human being. And if you don't know myself, my name is Tyler James. I'm an online fitness coach and I specifically help men put on aesthetic muscle and then also quit their vices. And alcohol is one of the biggest vices in the modern world today. It's great to see that people are drinking less and going out to bars and clubs less, but it's still very prevalent and it's still very heavy in our society. So a little bit about me. I used to be a DJ in a frat and I used to drink a lot. Obviously when you're a DJ, you kind of are thrown into the party scene and you have no choice but to drink, to do drugs, to do a lot of different stuff that you might not really want to do, but it's just a part of that environment. And so when I was in a frat in college, I was doing a lot of that stuff and I was never really addicted to it, but I can see how people get addicted to it into that lifestyle. And for the past year, I've only drank 2 times. This whole year, I've been completely sober. I haven't drank at all. I think the last time I drank was Thanksgiving with a couple friends. And I want to break down to you guys how I was able to stop, but still live a very social life. When I talk to people, they are impressed that I don't drink, but I'm still very social. I'm still very talkative. And I still like to connect with new people, talk with new people, and even go out sometimes, but stay sober. And I'm going to teach you guys how to do that in this video today. So the very first thing you must understand is that alcohol is going to kill your gains, your testosterone, your mood, and your energy. Alcohol is basically the opposite of the effect that you want in life, right? There's a very high dopamine spike and hit with alcohol, which feels good, but the feeling you get after is literally the opposite of every single thing that you want. So the first thing is you just have to understand that alcohol is killing your gains, it's killing your testosterone, and it's killing your masculinity, right? That's the first thing you have to understand. And once you get that through your brain, every time you pick up a drink or look at an alcohol bottle, that is what you should think about. You should think about, if I drink this, if I do this, I'm going to regret it. I'm going to lower my testosterone. I'm going to not look as jacked and not look as shredded. And that's just not what you want. You're not going to be as masculine. So understand it's killing your gains, testosterone, and masculinity. That's the very first thing you have to get through your head, is that every time you take a sip of a drink, you are lowering your testosterone. Because testosterone and alcohol have an inverse relationship. So the more alcohol you drink, the lower your testosterone is. And your testosterone is so vital for every single thing as a man. For reproducing, for working, for putting on muscle, for losing fat. Everything is so derived from your testosterone. And if you are drinking alcohol, you are killing your testosterone. This is what you have to get through your head, that it's killing your gains and it's killing your testosterone levels, right? And if you want to be the best version of yourself, you can't have these things. You can't have things that are going to kill your gains, kill your testosterone, and kill your masculinity, right? Obviously, when you're in your 20s and you're in college, there's a time and a place for drinking and having fun. I understand that. But once you get older and once you get out of school, it is time to level up and it's time to start being the man that you're meant to be. And alcohol is going to kill that drive within you, okay? So the very first thing is you got to just get that through your head, that every time you drink, not only in the next day are you going to be hungover, you're not going to have mood, you're not going to have energy, you're not going to have the drive to do the things that you need to do, but additionally, it's going to kill your masculinity without you even really realizing it. And then you wake up and you're 30 and you're bald, you're fat and you're out of shape and you have no drive and your wife is going to leave you. Well, it's because you are drinking alcohol, right? This is a thing that's like a silent killer. It just builds up time after time after time after time. And you don't really see the effects until you're 30, until you're 40. But if you stop now when you're in your 20s, you're going to have such a leg up on everybody now and then, because you're going to have mood, you're going to have energy, you're going to have drive, you're going to have testosterone and masculinity within you that a lot of guys today just do not have. So if you want to leg up on your competition, no matter what it is you want to do, stop drinking alcohol and understand that it's killing your gains, your testosterone, and your masculinity, okay? So that's the very first thing to understand. The second thing you got to do, and this is more of a practical step, is you got to remove it from your environment, right? Anytime that you're in an environment where something is happening and other people are doing it, you are more prone to do it. It's just a biological fact. So you have to remove yourself from the environment until you can get it in and under control. And a great example of this for you guys is that when this was probably about a year and a half ago, and I was about 2 months sober at the time, and I decided my family and I were going to go to Penn State for the weekend. It was my dad, my brother, and me. So just the boys going to Penn State for the weekend to go to a whiteout football game. Obviously, it's electric, the tailgate, and all of that different type of stuff. And I hadn't been drinking for 2 months, right? And my dad and brother, they still drink and they still like to have fun here on the occasion, right? And obviously, this was the time for it. And so when you go to this tailgate, there's literally a million people there, and they're all getting sloppy drunk. The game started at 7 p.m. and the tailgate was at like 11 a.m. So for 8 hours, people were drinking before the game. And I was still a little caught up if I was going to drink, if I wasn't, right? I had this wishy-washy thing after being sober for 2 months. And I ended up drinking, and I ended up getting way too drunk, way fucked up. And I got into an argument with my brother, and I was pissed at him for, he was kind of like shoving it down my throat and peer pressuring me into drinking when I didn't really want to. And so I got mad at him, but he was like, if you are not going to drink, commit and say that, right? Do it, right? Even if you are in the environment, you got to commit and you got to say that. But the first thing is that if I really wanted to not drink, I should never have gone there. I should never have gone there. I should never have gone to that tailgate and been in that environment, right? If I really, really had it under control, it wouldn't have mattered, and I wouldn't have done it anyways. Now I feel like if I went there, I wouldn't have drinking and it would have been fine. But you got to remove yourself from the environment, right? So no bars, no clubs, right? Any alcohol that's in your apartment, in your place, get rid of it. If your family has it, tell them to hide it away from you. No bars, no clubs, nothing of that nature, and get rid of any alcohol in your place, right? That is just the key, because out of sight, out of mind, right? It's the same thing if you were to try to stop jacking off, is that you wouldn't want to be looking at women on Instagram or seeing them in real life for a little bit of time until you got it under control. So you got to remove yourself from the environment. And I don't really have a time frame on when you're going to be able to really, be able to be in that environment and just still not even want to do it at all. But it's probably a couple months. So the very first thing is give yourself a month at least to remove yourself completely from the environment. If you are serious about quitting, you will do this, and you won't show up to the bars, you won't show up to the clubs, you won't have any alcohol in your place, and if you do that for a month, it's going to be so much easier to get that habit under control. And now I'm at the point where I can go to the bars with my friends, I can go out to the club with my friend on occasion and be around and be in that environment where everybody else is doing it, but I don't really feel the need to do it just because I have it under control at this point, okay? So the second thing is just remove yourself from the environment. That's the best thing that you can do to start getting yourself to quit alcohol. So the third step is very important, but I want to make sure you guys stick around for the fourth step, because it's going to make this whole thing very fun. It's going to make it a lot easier, and it's going to take the pressure off of you to be this sober guy who just sits in the room all day and to actually have fun while doing it. With that being said, for number 3 though, you got to have stuff planned on the weekends. Have stuff planned on the weekends, especially in the mornings, right? If you have something planned at 8 a.m., 7 a.m., 9 a.m. in the morning, you're not going to want to go out and drink the night before when you know you need to be at your best the next day, right? If you were to give a presentation or to do a meeting or to do a workout or to do a hike or a run or whatever the case may be, something difficult in the morning on the weekend, you're not going to be so liable to want to go out and drink. So make sure you have something planned on the weekends in the morning, okay? That typically you need to be at your best and your highest peak for, right? Today's Saturday morning, and something that I have planned is to do a workout with my friend right after this. So I have something that I know I need to be at my best for and in tip-top physical shape for. If I went out and drank the night before, stayed out till 2, 3 a.m., I'm not even gonna wake up in time for that workout, right? So you gotta have stuff planned on the weekend, and then additionally, you have to have a bedtime. Have a bedtime. This is gonna keep you from staying out too late. And this is the problem with people who are alcoholics and drink all the time, is that they have no bedtime. They have no set time to go to sleep, and so they stay out, they're wishy-washy, and they don't go to bed till 2 or 3 in the morning. But if you had a set bedtime, had a set schedule every single day, and you went to bed at that time, you wouldn't be going out to the bars, you wouldn't be going out to the clubs, because you would already be asleep, okay? So all of the alcoholic drinking really happens at night. It happens after like 10 p.m. And so if you want to avoid that, have a set bedtime, have a set schedule, and make sure you wake up at the same time, go to bed at the same time, and so there you can avoid that entire thing. So have something planned on the weekends in the morning, and have a set bedtime that you stick to, right? Whether it's 10, 11, keep it before midnight, at least an hour before midnight. But if you stick to this every single day, you are not going to go out to the bars because you are going to be in bed, you are going to be asleep, okay? So have a set bedtime. There are times when my friends will invite me out to go out, even now, and my bedtime is literally 10 p.m. And by the time it's like 9, 9:30, I'm just getting tired, I'm getting out of it, and I'm getting ready for sleep. So I'm not really in the mood or have the energy to go out to the bars and go out to the clubs and socialize, right? At that point, I'm ready for bed and I'm ready to wake up and then do that stuff during the day the next day. Okay, so that is a very another thing to understand, and if you do this, you have a set bedtime and you have stuff planned on the weekends, you're going to be a lot less liable to want to drink. Okay, now number 4 is going to make this whole thing fun and make it so much easier, and that's just having the mindset of being a sober degenerate, right? And now I'm not saying like go out and do a bunch of dumb shit and just be sober the entire time, like steal, rob, sin, and all that different type of stuff. But you guys can go out, you can have fun, you can go to social events, you can go to bars, you can go to clubs, but you should be sober, right? Make sure you get the habit under control first by removing yourself from the environment. But after that, once you get it under control, go out, have fun, go dance, go talk to girls, do different type of things. There is no law saying that you cannot show up to the bars drunk, right? You have to be drunk to go to the bars. You don't have to do that. You can show up, you can be sober, you can talk to a few ladies, you can shoot some pool, you can play some games, you can hang out with your friends, you can make a new friend, you can talk to the guy who's drunk and mess with him a little bit, right? Be a sober degenerate. Have a fun time with your friends. Go out, dance, have fun. You don't need to drink, right? A lot of the times guys and people are like hesitant to invite me to places, but I'm just like, I'm going to do the same exact thing as you. I'm just not going to drink, right? I still might even have a drink in my hand that's a non-alcoholic drink, and I'm going to do the same exact thing as you, right? So go out, have fun, but don't let being sober detract you from life, right? You shouldn't just be secluded in your room doing nothing all day and being like, oh, I'm sober, I'm such a good guy, I'm such a gentleman, I'm not like these other people, right? You're not better than anybody. Right? We're all the same, so go out and have fun, but just be sober while doing it, so that way the next day you can wake up, you have your stuff planned on the weekend, most of the time you have a set bedtime. If you want to break it to go out and have fun with your friends every once in a while, there's no wrong in that, right? But when the next day, instead of being hungover and lowering your testosterone and your masculinity and killing your gains, you wake up, you feel good, you go right back to work, you hit your workouts, right? And there's no letdown with you. You're always getting better. You're always improving because you're not taking this break of being hella hungover because you got so drunk, right? So be a sober degenerate. Go out, have fun, hang out with your friends, talk to girls, dance, have a good time. Do the same exact thing everybody else there is doing in that environment except drink, right? Don't have any alcohol, but make sure at first to get the habit under control, remove yourself from the environment for at least a month, right? That'll help you get it under control, so that way when you step back in there, you don't have this need or gravitational pull to have a drink, right? When you're out with your friends, you can be able to take a step back a little bit and just exist and just have a conversation, talk to a girl, have a good time, right? So be a sober degenerate. Have fun while you are doing all of these things. You should have fun with every single thing you're doing in life, but especially when you're hanging out with your friends, and you shouldn't just be secluded in your room all damn day. Okay, so this is how to quit alcohol for guys in their 20s. And if you would like some help, click the link in the bio below, book a one-on-one call with me, and I can help you quit alcohol for the rest of your life. It is your man, Tyler James. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.